Oh, someone text me. Oh, Barrick.
Hello.
Hey, everything okay?
Um, yeah, yeah. If you have free time, I need to speak to you, but like kind of in the same capacity as the other day. Not really in relation to the same stuff as the other day, but also like off the record and with nobody
Oh, yeah.
really knowing about it for privacy reasons.
You want to come up to the... Actually, maybe not. I was going to say the observatory, but, I guess, yeah, let's meet up, at the Vinewood site. Or is that no good? No?
Yeah,
Hey, listen, yo, how about you pick? You pick the spot.
yeah, I will ping you. It'll be in Polito, but
Okay.
it'll I'll explain.
I'll drive over there.
It's nothing dumb, but
Okay.
yeah, it'll be a few minutes though.
Okay. All right. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hmm. Bye. Hate that I have to do that, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Wonder what this is about. Then I want to speak to Peters, because Peters, we need to interrogate him. And once we've interrogated Peters and Scotty, we can convert the Dread Torrent investigation to an investigative report. We can get LSPD and BCSO on board. But until then, given there's government employees involved, we've got to keep it a state marshal report. I don't think Peters will be a big one. I just want to know why he tried to call the faceless, really. And if we can... There wasn't any confirmed contact. Why is there a fucking unicorn up there? No, let's change the hood up. He's around early. He's around early. So maybe he came around to talk to us? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So. Hey, Hal, I'll see anybody. Has he not left it? He's been around the whole time. I got some chocolate when I was downstairs. Crispy M&Ms. Anyone a fan? I need to have some before we go into this, otherwise I'll be making crazy amounts of noise. So. I dropped one. Fuck. Good. Ever tried them? They're really good, actually. Got no nuts in, though, so they're not like normal M&Ms. They're like, just like chocolate M&Ms with like a layer of, I don't know, fucking crispy shit. I'll go this way. Where we going? We're gonna meet up with Judge Barrick Johnson. Off the record, there. There he is. Okay, he's got the tip. They discontinued them? Really? That's so sad. I'm so sorry for your loss. So we interrogated Barrick the other night. We interrogated him on the 3rd. You know what I need? A fucking marker button. Do I have one? Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, but... You son of a bitch. I'll put it in here. Twitch. Bro. Hey, wait 2 seconds. Done. I should be able to do this. I actually don't know if that's worked or not. That's the issue. Hey, Peter's yeah.
Hey, Dark, long time no see. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How about yourself, bro?
I'm doing good. What have you been up to?
I mean, a lot of shit's been going on, man. So, I'll be honest, I'm still working the same shit. I'm still working.
Is there any progress on that, or you guys anything?
I mean, it's developed a lot. It's no longer just, you know, it's no longer just like some terrorists. It's, you know, it's connected with shit at the lighthouse. I mean, I'm sure you've heard about the plague too. It's a pretty large spanning investigation.
You know, I didn't get sick, and I think it's because I didn't get vaccinated like everyone else.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, listen, I need, funny your phone. I actually need to have a chat with you on the record. That.
Okay, yeah. When, just let me know when. I'm just kind of. I'm gonna. Perry and I are gonna go up in Air One. We have like no officers this morning, so I was just gonna do like a flyby, see what's going on in the city.
Okay. I'm about to meet with somebody, but then I'll catch up with you in about 30-40 minutes, right?
Yeah, sounds good. That's perfect.
All right, cheers, mate.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. I have missed Trav, dude. Where's he been? What's he been up to? What's his baby do? Has he had it? Oh, he moved? Wait, he moved and his kid was born? Jesus. I do not envy him, man. Holy shit. We moved before baby Sock was born, and I am very grateful. So I can't imagine the fucking stress he was going through, dude. Did Chris up and move? Oh, did he? It's cute. You said it sucked. I can fucking imagine, dude. You got a baby like screaming because they're fucking hungry, and you're fucking halfway moving your TV out the fucking door. All right. Let's lock it in and go visit El Berico. Well, that's a good name, dude. If Beric ever becomes a drug lord like Tessa, El Barico. I hope that doesn't mean anything in Spanish. All right. Adios, amigos. Nice spot.
Yeah, I think when I was Michael's parole officer, we used to have to spend a lot of time up here because he was pretty fond of this spot.
I think this might be Bruce's bench now. I don't know. There's some legality around it.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh. How about that?
What's going on?
Well, I mean, I guess now I'm gonna ask you about something, and this is like just like you as Richard, not like it's like a Marshall, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on your answer, I like have something for you. Well, either way, I do probably. But what was your kind of relationship like with the BBMC years ago?
Pretty mostly non-existent, I'll be honest. I mean, you know, I had some meaningful interactions with, you know, a few of the members, like when Dundee was nearly killed by a couple cops.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously TJ went rogue, I guess, and went to the other side, and that was a whole fucking mess. So.
How'd you feel about TJ?
I didn't like what he did. I don't ever like what people like him do when they go from the badge to that. But, you know, in the year or year and a half, I guess, that he was back here, you know, I got some respect for the things he was doing. You know, regardless of what side of the fence he was on, he was still attempting to do the right thing.
Hmm.
Why'd
You
you
know what
ask?
happened to him?
I mean, yeah. I know he was shot in the back of the head in a council meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, in all honesty, I I didn't know him at all, really, but I knew what he stood for years ago, and I knew that I at least had a respect for the idea that he was one of the few that if he was going to try and burn everything down, that he was going to, when he came back, be part of the solution to help rebuild things and build it back up and fix the problems. Which I had a lot of respect for that. Now, whether people agree with burning it down in the first place is a whole nother thing. But I suppose even though when you are a cop and people die, it's not always your fault. I think for me, a lot of the times, more so when I was chief, it felt that way. It genuinely felt a lot of the time as though we let people down. And I remember that being a big moment.
You mean when TJ died? Then?
Yeah, when he passed away. The City Hall shooting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it hit a lot of people in a lot of different ways, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, like him or not, the guy influenced a lot of people in the city. I mean, I remember after Sanguine, you know, the guy's fingers must have hurt for the amount of tweets that he was doing, just non-stop, all day, every day. Yeah, he was a man who knew how to protest, whether it was on Twitter or whether it was taking up arms on Sanguine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that recently. That the block feature that people have on Twitter these days, that a lot of cops would have loved to have that years ago, for him specifically. But
I think when I didn't really thinking about it until he passed, but you know, me and TJ kind of felt like we were two sides of the same coin, because you know, he wanted kind of all the things I did. He wanted people to be held accountable. He wanted the system to lack corruption, you know, but he just went about it in very different ways. And obviously he lived a very different life.
I suppose that's very true.
It's just, I doubt you came here to reminisce about TJ Walker, though.
In part.
It's just, It's yours.
It is not. Now, I am once again coming to you in a capacity as a friend and as a person, asking you the question if there's somebody that would like to speak to you and they believe that the conversation would be mutually beneficial, but it is not, or should not be, widespread knowledge or just knowledge to begin with, then
Just TJ.
yeah.
Okay. Why the watch?
Suppose I'm not quite sure, but I believe they have significance to him.
Did he say when or where he wanted to have this meeting?
He you go to the pier just over there, and I'm sure he'll find you. He doesn't exactly sleep anymore, I'd have to imagine.
Damn. And he asked you to do this specifically?
I don't know if he asked me specifically, but he did ask me to speak to you about it. See if you'd like to speak to him.
I guess I would. All right. Well, thank you. I think. Appreciate you passing on the message.
And on a personal level, uh, to answer your question, that I didn't really feel comfortable answering an interrogation as to why I'm at the house so much. It is to do with my feather and talking to Edgar about that kind of business.
I figured.
It has nothing to do with anything else beyond that.
Okay.
I mean, I went to dinner there, obviously, which, you know, probably not the safest idea, but and me and McNulty agreed upon that, but both have the same weakness of curiosity to see how it would go. Truthfully, I did not forgive him. I don't forgive any of them for what they did to me. And I say that to you personally. But on a professional level, I can put all that aside for my job.
I can understand that. I'd probably do the same.
Yeah. I figured that you of all people would understand that. Or at least could understand that. And there's times that, and even Matt has told me that you've had to investigate him, no? Or even interrogate him.
Yeah. It's a lot of people question me on it over the years, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, did Edgar ask you for your feather?
He has. He also told me that he asked for yours.
He did.
Yeah, he said some other things too. Like, you offered to go get Frank. Which I'm not so sure that I don't believe a majority of things that come out of his mouth. I think also a lot of the time I spend there is trying to, even though I'm not a cop anymore, I think it's a lot of curiosity trying to figure out what exactly is actually kind of going on.
I don't think we'll ever really understand what's going on. There's too much. Maybe we're not supposed to understand it.
Maybe.
But he's not lying. I did offer.
Like, you know as well as I do that nothing like that comes without a price of any kind.
Maybe. Maybe. But I don't think anyone is deserving of being in a place like that.
That is my thought process exactly, and the only reason of why that I'm inclined to help them is the only reason why I was inclined to help them in the beginning, or even to help Benny when Edgar was the one there.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what had been done to me, I don't really believe that anybody deserves that kind of punishment, I suppose. In the end.
No, you're right. So what's your plan?
Suppose watch and wait, see what happens, and do what I always do. Do everything I possibly can with the time that I have left to protect everybody that I care about and leave the world a better place than I found it. Because in a lot of ways, a few months ago, I was standing in that driveway. I feel like I was supposed to die that day. And I think for quite some time, I wrestled with the idea of why I was allowed, or maybe allowed isn't the right term, but why I'm still here. Everything I did in the past, everything I'm doing now, is it for the right reason? And those thoughts still come up.
Well, I think with questions like that, the only person who's going to be able to answer them is you.
This is true. And that's where it swings back to what I said the other day about, you know, lived on one side of the fence for so long, and then, you know, that day happened, and then the months after that, I spent a lot of time on the middle of the fence looking at the other side, questioning myself. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should look at the other side. Maybe I should talk to the devil and see what they have to offer me. But I think my heart always knew where I belonged, even if my body was tired and my brain was beaten down.
What could the other side possibly have to offer you?
That's exactly the conclusion that I came to. I think for a time, the idea of safety, because, well, I don't know, there is no because, but is anybody ever really safe? By any means. One feeling I never have been really able to escape, though, is the day that I was being hunted. That feeling of being the one being protected and not the one, like, standing up and fighting back against everything coming.
Or that troubled you, or that you were the one being protected?
Yeah. It never sat well with me.
Seeing
all these
what's the
people
alternative?
I don't know. I don't know if there is one, but it just... I spent my entire life just running toward fights. Or at least not being afraid of them. And the entire time it just felt like running away. And while on the surface it's not that, I suppose it felt that way.
I get it. I understand. But I think if you had stood and fought or done whatever else, I think it would have been a hell of a lot easier for them to have done what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much longer you would have been with them. At least where the way it happened, we were searching and putting pressure on where you were, and maybe that moved the time frame up. I don't know. See, I don't think I ever really said it before, but I feel partially responsible for what happened to you, so I'm sorry for that. Whether it's, you know, whether it's losing you that day that it happened, or whether it's, I mean, you being the one to sign the subpoena, or even whether it's just starting the investigation in the first place. I can't help but feel responsible. But that's not important. Just,
I appreciate that. But it's not your fault. It's not on you.
maybe. Listen, just my advice is, whatever happens, just keep your head above water. Keep treading. And, I think, regardless of what your headspace might have been, you know, you're on the right side. So,
Yeah, I'm very, very thankful that I've fallen back on that side of the fence.
yeah, nothing good comes to the people who go on the other side. That
Not in the end.
Oh, thank you for this. Thanks for passing on the message.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else?
Not right now.
Okay. Well, guess I'll take a walk down the pier. See if he wants to chat. Just take it easy, alright? Be careful. Whatever you're doing. Thanks, Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. This is not what I expected. Crow-X Watch. Crow-X Watch. Crow. Dusty. Hmm. Strange. Just a walker.
You know the difference between here and the other side?
This one, I
It's the
think we both
sound.
heard.
You can hear the difference, Richard. You know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, I think I do actually.
It's the wind. It's the one thing that differentiates between there and here. There is no wind there. Each moment we point out one thing that is different, one thing that keeps us alive, one thing that reminds us of who and where we are. It's like that watch next to you. Each moment that second hand moves is a moment that time ticks and a moment that realizes that you're still alive. It stops ticking, that's when you have issues. There's other watches, ones that tick slower, representing something that's missing, ones that tick backwards, something that you wish to be undone. I'm curious for you, Richard. How's your time tick?
I feel like it ticks only half the time it used to. I think for every second it ticks here, another ticks there.
You feel like you're missing part of yourself?
I know I am.
Why is that?
Well, I died, and I went there, and ever since I come back, it don't really feel like me anymore. I feel more like how you look than how I used to feel.
Hmm. How I look, Richard, is irrelevant. I could be here or I could be nowhere. One thing remains consistent, it's the feeling, and it is what is inside. A lot of time has passed since you and I last saw each other and spoke. You remember what that was?
It's been a long time, so forgive me if I don't exactly recall. So, I don't think I do.
I think it was around the time frame I was asking you to investigate Brian Knight. That's what, 8 years ago?
That, if I was gonna have made a guess, then that would have been what I would have guessed, so that sounds about right.
I think before that was last time we met in person, maybe the grapeseed room while I was running out.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
You don't know the full story of that? Or do you already know it?
But I got a pretty good idea.
Bass wanted to meet with me, brought Brian, said nothing would happen. I would not be arrested. I went solo. Apparently the rest of BBMC followed me up there, saw you, and took advantage of it. I didn't ask them to be there. There's one thing That brought your name back into my mind. Since recently. You familiar with this book with your name in it?
Yeah, yeah, I'm familiar.
And why do you think it was there?
I think Edgar wanted me to be the one to bring him back.
You know, I was down there with him for a period of time, and I asked him about your name. But you and Barrick there, out of the two individuals that could have been on that, that was the further from the two that I could imagine. It wasn't someone that was close to him. It wasn't someone that was one of his best friends. It wasn't someone that even had any interest to my knowledge of his well-being. It's two officers, or at that time, a judge or whatever, or marshal, whatever Barrick was. I asked him about it. His response was that the two of you had wanted him so badly that they would go through the ends of the world to try to find him. If there's one person that would bring him back, it would be one of the two of you. And one of the two of you would be so resolute to find him. And I think there was a thing of friendship when he said that. I think it was a thing of resolve. Would you say that's accurate?
I never really gave much thought to why he'd put my name on there. Other than I thought maybe because I was one of the only people that had, I guess, come after him. So maybe that meant something to him in some capacity. But what you're saying sounds accurate.
Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, I've spoken to him a few times.
Did he ever tell you the day where Winston went missing and he tried to come back?
Who went missing? Sorry.
Winston Walker.
Yeah. No, he didn't mention. He didn't mention that. He doesn't seem to remember his time in the
Yeah,
between.
Call me a skeptic, but someone that asks for feathers remembers his time. He's playing us. And someone with as a complicated history as he and I have, you don't forget that. I'll give you a brief rundown as to why. 7 years ago, I was involved with an organization that he called out publicly. An organization that's morphed itself today into something different, but an organization I was a member of called the Faceless. He called them out on Twitter, which should not have ever been done. He inserted his name into Sanguine in trying to buy it with the winnings of his survival from Andy's game contest. He plans to try to revitalize it with something in regards to a mushroom that ate the radiation from the bombing of Sanguine and something in conjunction with the Rangers. One thing you don't do is you don't call out a shadow organization, and we couldn't let that go. I scooped him up, took him to the aircraft hangar, and shot him there, looking at the island that he so wished to possess. After, he made a recovery and made it his mission to go after me at some point. I had done what was needed, and he knew what happened, and let him make his move. Once again, that's not something you forget the history of, Richard. I spent a lot of time down there with him. The first day I was down there with him was the first time to get the book, that one that had your name in there. The second time, unfortunately, I was sent there myself, mid-conversation, speaking with Pestilence and Alice Omen. I can tell you I didn't even get to finish my sentence, and I was immediately locked up into a cage where I spent upwards of, I guess what would feel like here, of 30 days. Down there felt like an eternity. The day I got down there is the day I taught him about the feathers to return. There's 2 sets of them, white and black. Those are what I first used to get out and to actually be here. Considering the fact I was just sent there, he insisted the fact that I'd try to send him back. Despite asking him, "Are you sure?" Giving him every opportunity to learn about things that he should know about actually returning, and giving him the second opportunity to consider the fact I was just sent there that same day, meaning probably trying to sneak back out was not going to be an option. And guess what? He insisted, and so I did it. And tried to get him back there. Only for him to be met on the other side by Death or Norman, whichever one you consider, and sent right back. Pretty hysterical considering what happened. But unfortunate. So it's concerning to me that someone who's asking about feathers is someone who knows the exact way and the methods of what actually takes place. The fact that he has met that on the other end of it once before. He knows what happens. Sad state to assume that he's fooling anybody by acting any way differently.
I understand the skepticism, but so it wouldn't be the first time that someone's come back from there with memory problems. Plot being one of them.
If I recall correctly, Flop had workings with the other one, the doctor.
My memory's hazy on all that, ironically, so I don't really remember.
Have you spoken with the doctor?
I have several times.
You know his mantra? The sickness that he deals with?
What about it?
Physical sickness, sickness of the mind, sickness of the soul. Not just one. Not one that you see everyone here coughing. You see he tried to actually infect the sickness of his soul to me is or to lose of everything that I am, the memory of who I am, the memory of what I am, the things that surround me. The mind is to drive you crazy, to forget who you are. It's not just one that he specializes in. It's not one that he tries to inflict. Anything on the living side, anything with a torture or the torment or suffering, that is what he specializes in. Where, as you can imagine, on Norman's side, it's the death. Death of family members. Physical death. Actual death that leads you to where we've been. Death of friendships.
Families.
They differ themselves.
Yeah, I'm aware. If I could ask you something,
You may.
why were you sent there? You'd already managed to get your way out. Who and why did you get sent back?
You know, Richard, when we die, it's an absolute. It's inevitable. It's a portion that it's something that we can't outrun. At the end of it, death will always has his grasp on you. Whether that be a hand or a shackle, there's something always that binds you to it once it's happened. Somehow, some way, in that conversation with the doctor, he managed to pull on that chain that was around me and send me there. No explanation, no meaning. The best, Richard, as you and I have both been police, is the thought of sending someone to prison without reading them their charges. One moment, I was in conversation, the next moment, I was in a jail. Why? I don't know. I haven't spoken to him. Not since.
But you were. Did you piss him off or something?
No, I've pissed them both off. That's my specialty.
Yeah, I think it might be mine too.
Ask the questions that they don't want me to ask. The ones that are in between everything that they try to tell you. The story that they try to weave and the ones that they want you to know, there's always something behind it that they don't want you to question. That's where I seem to get in trouble the most. Asking those questions. When he says that he's not human, I point out the fact that he's dealing with human characteristics of himself, making deals for individuals when he says he doesn't do deals. Asking individuals to torture people in exchange for keeping his family members sick or safe from the sickness. Is that not just putting a carrot in front of someone's face and asking them to do something in order for them to get something as a return? How is that any different from what Norman would deal with? You point that out, he doesn't like it. When you say it's very human of him, he gets angry. So I'd imagine I poked.
Okay. And you said that the way you got out was with feathers. But how did you
First
get
time.
them?
There's 5 here to go. 5 to return. 5 sets. 5 white, 5 black.
Saying that if somebody here on the outside had 5 white, all that would do was get them in. You wouldn't get someone out. I got to ask, Because I ain't going to be able to understand all this fucking shit right now. You mind if I, snap a pic?
And prefer that you don't. Don't need copies of that going anywhere.
I understand. Okay, bear with me. Mon itum sequiri. Death makes all things equal. Crossing into purgatory is not a task to take lightly. There's a realm between life and death, a place where the balance must be respected. The process is not without risk, and the consequences of failure are dire. Those who attempt this journey must understand the weight of their actions and the responsibility they bear. The feathers of hope and noxy, symbols of life and death, that bridge that gap. Okay. Missteps, hesitation, or arrogance in this process can leave one stranded in the in-between. A fate that means permanent separation from the world of the living. Follow with care. I just saw your comment, Ziggy. That's crazy. Plumerum Spear. The fuck does that? The journey begins with 5 feathers of hope. The light that bridges despair. These are no ordinary feathers, but the plume spay. Gifts from the bird of promise. Among them lies one soaked in blood. The plume sacrifice. Okay. This feather is a reminder of the cost required to open the portal. Without it, the passage remains closed, so veil unyielding. Gather them with care. Do not question the sacrifice, for it has already been made. Memini, Plume, Quinque, Shunt, Clays. Right, I'm trying to commit that to fucking memory. Hold on. Remember? 5 feathers. To cross? Maybe? Ritualist. Oh my fucking god. At the chosen site, the feathers must be placed within the bounds of the flames. 5 pillars will rise, forming a half moon. What the shit? Limes vitae and mortis, the boundary that guards the veil. When the circle of flame ignites at the center, circulus ignis, one may enter. Step forward and let the heat wash over you. Repeat the words with clarity and intent. In nomine mortis vitae. Fuck it. Beyond the veil lies purgatory, a realm of whispers and shadow. Here you must find the plume tenebrarum scattered across the realm. These feathers are not yours to touch. Their power is not for the living. Only those that have passed may grasp their darkness. The dead will not help without reason. They are bound to their own purposes, and you must tread carefully in your dealings with them. Venom is mortis spectrum. I gotta take some fucking Latin lessons, man. The longer you remain in purgatory, the more it will bind itself to you, pulling you into its cold embrace. When all 5 black feathers have been gathered, they must be brought to the altar of purgatory. This is the final step, where the living and the dead join to open the way home. The feathers must be placed on the altar, their dark energy activating the portal. Only then may the dead complete the ritual, repeating the words that allow your return. Mors omnia... Shit. The black feathers remain incomplete, or if the ritual falters, the portal will close. There will be no second chance. You'll be left behind, neither alive nor truly dead, and to the in-between for eternity. The rules are unyielding. 5 feathers to enter, 5 feathers to return. There is no margin for error, no mercy for the unprepared. Do not underestimate
How's
the
your memory
forces.
there, Dark?
Not great, man. and I need to take some fucking Latin lesson. You understand this shit?
I wrote it.
You could have done it in English, shit. Sorry, my bad. I understand. Shit beyond my understanding. Disrespecting will consume me. Go now,
As
but
much
check
as I don't want you taking photos of it, I would hope that you'd actually have a photographic memory, but if your memory sucks, then that's not my own prerogative.
You hoped I would have a photographic memory. What if your
You are a
ghostly
detective.
powers... And maybe if it's in fucking English, man.
You know, some people have the ability to just look at a page and internalize it.
You know what? If you can gift me that power from beyond the grave, then I will be very grateful.
I'm not some anyone that can do that. Sorry, bud.
Well, I can tell you, I'm not going to be able to remember this, but I understand the basics, I guess. I appreciate you it's telling me.
Let me break that down for you, though. I will need that back at some point.
Of course, yeah.
The basics and what you need to know is that that is burnt. That was a way in, way out without somebody knowing. Unfortunately, it's known. And the one that tested and proved that theory was Edgar himself. Once again. Concerning as to why he's asking for feathers, and he knows that's burnt.
Okay.
Unless he wants to return.
I can tell you that Edgar plans on getting Mr. White back.
That always comes with a cost, doesn't it, Richard? Weren't you the organizer of the Bone Convention years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, I was. Whether or not that was a mistake, I don't know.
I think you ended up getting basically every cop that had some sort of deal or anyone that actually had their friends that were involved with it and were friends of cops. Because for those of us that actually cared, that were not, and were in the middle of a deal, and there was no way in hell I was joining yours. But I'm glad you used my tugboat to some sort of whatever you did.
Oh, yeah. Feel good about that.
But regardless, you would know that get something out always has a cost to it, doesn't it? It's not a way to sneak people out. It's there and back. It was not meant to take people back. The entire thing was for Finger is something a way that allow him to reconcile with his past for people that he had let go of, AK and Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
To say their final goodbyes with each other and move back. What had spread was a meaning as to possibility of getting him back when he was gone, referring to Edgar. As people look towards me to try to help them with that. As you can imagine, on a page that has the black feather says that only the dead can touch them. Edgar couldn't pick them up, and I could. I have no say in who can walk back through that. You know that will always be Norman. You know that will always be Death.
What did it cost you?
The first time? Or the second time? Or the third?
You tell me.
The first time, I wasn't quite ready to be there. That was when I was shot as a cop and then joined BBMC. Reference to Grapeseed when you saw me there.
Mm-hmm.
It was about a month prior. The second time was a city council shooting. I spent months there. I was shown the way out, actually, by the two birds. Hope and Noxie. As a way to get back to someone that needed it. Someone who I was deeply connected to. My father. Harry. I think I overstayed my welcome and then got sent back for the third. He's trying to teach a lesson, as he says he loves to nudge humanity into lessons. There's one thing that you do with a lesson is actually explain what you did wrong. If anything, you pissed me off enough that I wasn't going to sit there idly and take it. So I devised a plan before I went down there because it was inevitable the fact that I was going to be down there. I had someone steal a vial of acid from Pestilence himself. Chains that bind anyone down there are not normal chains. Those are chains that are ethereal in nature, chains that you take any vial of normal acid would not work. But one devised from a god? Chains we're willing to take. So imagine stealing from a god, having someone down there to deliver it to you, and then removing those chains so that you can be freed. The cost to that has not yet been established, but I'm sure it's going to come back.
And so, what, that's granted you your permanency here? Or in both places?
It's granted a way where that death's grasp, the shackles that are around me, the ones that was sent back from the first time, no longer be grasped. Imagine a switchboard operator as you connect the lines to each other if you're back in the 70s or 80s, where one person calls and they connect you to the other. Except for on the other end, there is no hole there to connect them to. There's no chain to grasp. That has been snapped.
I think I understand that. But what I don't understand is you're here, but you're dead. That's pretty clear.
And that I am.
Yet Edgar is back and he's seemingly quite alive.
There we go into the deeper side of this. Natural death versus unnatural death. Deals versus finality.
Okay. I don't really think you need to say much more on that. I get it. And that probably explains how I'm here too. But still, I was pulled out of there by the doctor. How was Edgar pulled out of there?
He was let go. By death. In exchange for Freg.
Shit.
Fred had made a deal and did not fulfill the entirety of it. Something I was kind of confused on for a period of time because, Richard, as you are aware, I did have a deal then, and mine was Sam Bass. It took roughly about a month to complete that. Fred was given 6 names. In a finite period of time to complete them. He completed 3 of them. I had 1 and had a month. He had 3 and very short amount of time, if anything. I thought that Norman would be happy with that.
I think Norman's getting impatient.
Well, he did say he was going out with a bang.
That he did. And who in their right mind stole acid from pestilence for you?
That one, I'm gonna hold on to that one for a little bit, Richard. But it's pretty known, but someone that I've been working with and someone that Hope has entrusted a fair amount. The point that Hope assisted them in doing it. Curious, you are aware that the bird's named one with the white feathers is named Hope, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. So, I guess I gotta ask, why did you want to meet, and why did you give me this watch?
Watch as a reminder that the time that we have is always ticking. As long as that ticks, is a reminder that you're continually able to do something about whatever situation that you're in. I've actually wanted to meet for quite some time, ever since we've had that book to begin with. Unfortunately, I don't think we've ever had the opportunity to. It wasn't until meeting Barrick the other day that brought back up to me. He mentioned your name. Pointed in your direction and wanted to see where you stood on everything. Given your history of everything that's happened before, and I know you've been involved.
Not intentionally. I had no intention of coming anywhere near any of this. But it started with looking into that organization you say you were a part of. And then somehow things spiraled into, well, everything else.
Started with the faceless and ends here, huh?
Yeah, imagine my surprise.
Do you want the twist of it?
Oh yeah, throw in another one. What harm could it do?
The day that Edgar was sent, the day that Sonia went back and forth between the balance of life and death, and the day Matthew Colby was sent back to prison.
Mm-hmm.
That day, I visited Edgar in Purgatory. That same visit, there was a man with a blue mask there.
Excuse me?
Before you spiral further, it has been brought to many, many, many different topics and brought back to me. The moment I spread that is the moment everyone assumed that he was one of them. And I will never, ever, ever confirm that. If you can go and come back, as others have, I was alive the first time, all it takes is someone to bring you there. Usually Norman, or normally death itself. That's his domain. But yeah. The first time I encountered the man with the blue mask was there.
The first time.
It hasn't been a second.
I don't think that Mr. Blue, as he's been named, is one of the four. And I've got my reasons for that. But what you're saying is right, and they can be brought there. That brings me to question why and how and who. If it was you, which it wasn't, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Or brought him there?
It wasn't you that brought him there,
No.
and you don't have the ability to do that?
Only with those feathers there.
Right.
4 of those are pure white. There is one that has blood on it, and that's required.
Yeah. Okay. Is give me for the ignorance, is that real?
You like to hold it?
I trust you, I think. Oh. Why do you hang on to this?
There's a sentence in that book that if you read and try to commit to memory, it is one of those requires a sacrifice.
Yeah, and you
That
don't
sacrifice
know
has
about the
already been made.
sacrifice. Yeah, I read it, but that is.
Mm-hmm.
But why do you have it, and why do you hold on to it?
That sacrifice is in many different forms, Richard. Edgar made one the first time. That's why he had one. He was stabbed. Something that represented the blood on the feather the first time. I haven't known any other ones, but each one of those represents a connection of who I've had to this human world.
And one of them's gone.
One of them I no longer remember. Their name is only coming back to me. The memories of them are gone. Someone that I was closest to. Imagine you giving up everything of Matt Rhodes. No longer knowing who he is. No longer recognizing him. No longer having feelings of him. That's what it takes to have one of those. It's also why I keep on to it.
I could ask. No, it's okay. Never mind. You have 3 of those people left though, right?
I do.
That's good. What's your game plan with all this?
At this point anymore, I don't know. Truthfully. I had a thought, I had many different thoughts. Right now it's protecting the people around me.
Well, I mean, forgive me, you can kind of be anywhere you want, so who is that?
Those I consider my family. We used to have something called the bathhouse. Each letter was someone's name. B-A-T-H. Barry, Andy, TJ, Hubcap.
How is Andy? I haven't spoken to her for a while.
I haven't either. We promised to have another discussion at some point, and I promised not to do anything until I spoke with her again. Unfortunately, I haven't seen her since. Couldn't tell you.
I think she's doing all right. She's got that survivor going. Oh, good things.
The less I need to bother her with this stuff, probably the better. I can tell if there's one person that wants nothing to do with anything of this anymore in her life, it is her, and I will respectfully try to keep her as far away from it as possible. If that means I need to not be around her, I will.
So, if your aim is to protect the people around you, and you're talking to me, does that mean you're concerned for, how do I say, the other two pulling it up?
I'm concerned with all of that. Absolutely. I think it would be unnatural for someone not to be concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when there's people helping them kind of get to that point, it kind of makes you question things.
You know, Richard, it's very easy to side with them. It's the attractive option. Everyone wants that. Everyone thinks, let me just get into their good graces and be the person that helps them, because guess what? I'll happily be used by them. I'll happily be a tool by them. I'll happily maybe get their protection from it. And guess what? I get to control some of the things that I get to control instead of having those enacted on me. I can tell you, it has not been easy in any means possible to actually try to have any concern on the other side. It is a challenge. In forms I can't even comprehend to you.
Okay.
We live in a place that's so easy to be bad, or so easy to want to murder someone, or so easy to do things and have a minimal consequence to it. It's not easy is to oppose those things. I feel like the other side of the line is very small numbered. And the other side of the line loves all possibilities to remind them that they are. Just like any story, there's a protagonist and an antagonist. I'm happy to be the antagonist to their protagonist. Or in my case, them to mine.
Yeah, it's just my concern is that often those working with them are a hell of a lot more motivated than the people trying to put a stop to it. Everybody has selfish motivations for the most part. There's very few people who are just doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, welcome to San Andreas.
No, I'm
The
aware, don't
person
worry.
someone's going to look out is their own back.
Don't lump us all together, man. There was something else.
Sure.
Something, something I read about. Something about in that place where Edgar was, and something about some orbs, like glowing orbs. Do you know about this?
Yeah. I don't know what it means. I have no idea what it is. Hold on. Couldn't even pretend. That's from Edgar. That's not my own. I've not experienced this orb. I'm purely going off of what Winston and Edgar have said, and that's his own writing.
This is where I got the information from. How did you get this?
From him down there.
You don't know anything about that stuff?
No, I don't.
I feel like you've given me a lot of information, TJ, and I'm very grateful, but I feel it unfair if I wasn't to ask if you had any questions for me.
No, I don't. Actually, I have one question for you, Richard.
Sure.
That's just popped into my mind. It wasn't something that I thought about, but everyone has their line of how far they're willing to go to something and how far they're willing to do. Do you know that line? Your own? I'm not asking if you need to give me that answer. It's just something for you to consider.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know that line. I hope it doesn't get to that point, but no, running out of options, I guess.
As long as you keep it in sight.
Maybe I might have something that you wouldn't think to ask, or maybe you know it already. But I feel like if you're looking out for your family, I should let you know that the other two, the ones that aren't here yet, I think we're in the 11th hour before they get here. That's not just me theorizing. It's as best as we can get evidence of with all this crazy shit. It looks like they're coming soon.
Can I ask what makes you say that? The context behind that.
There is an individual who has been marked by the doctor.
I'm aware.
And those
Your old
marks.
colleague.
Are we talking about the same person?
Oshira.
That's news to me.
Well, then keep that between you and I, then. Then go, please.
Person I'm talking about is not a colleague of mine, but someone who was marked by the doctor. Marked with, I guess, a representation of the 7. And the 4 that we already have 2 of are scarred out. And the other 2, up until very recently, were, well, I guess just dormant carvings in his flesh. If I'm going to put it bluntly, but recently, yeah, they've been getting active. I don't know what the time frame is for that, but there is some pretty extreme indications that they're gonna be here soon. I don't understand it. I hope it's not true. But that's what I'm working with right now.
Do you know this person?
Yeah. I'd prefer not to tell you who it is, and that's not because
That's fine.
I don't trust you or anything, which trust is a strange thing to talk about with someone who's dead, respectfully. But I know you probably talk to a lot of people, and I'm not worried about you having the information. I'm worried about who else would end up with the information.
Well, then the same of what I told you applies, then. Oh,
What is it? I thought the shackles were broken.
They are. That's just, saw something in the water.
It's all right. You were saying?
I was saying that I would expect the same courtesy then for what information I just said to you.
Yeah, I understand. I haven't even spoken to Oshira since she, well, well, you probably know what she did.
I don't. I'm not going to pretend to either.
Well, let's just say her allegiances were not where I thought they were. Yeah.
You know, Richard,
What's
there's a
that?
part to all this, and it kind of comes to my attention, and it's very similar to what I had learned in trying to get Edgar some sort of conclusion or solace in what was happening around him is that he spread the feathers around to people that might be a way to have conversation and discuss things in a way to help each other. Similar, I guess, to the same concept that you did with the bone con.
Yeah, well, last time I did that, I nearly fucking died.
Yeah, I get it. But you know, the thing with that was everyone that got one wanted to hold on to it. They wanted to keep it. Nobody wanted to give it up. The intention was to get back to him eventually. People that he could have a conversation with and trust. You see, that never happened. So what I've learned at this point is that everyone that I've seen or have encountered with a lot of this information will like to keep it to themselves. That's entirely fine. It's not helping the end goal.
No, it's not, but I'm sure you've spoken to a lot of people about all of this. Can you tell me one person you truly think has the best interest of everybody in mind?
There is one.
Oh,
But once again, still, like anything else, we're all human. We all make mistakes. That's the person I work with the closest. The one that... I said I didn't want to say her name, but I guess I will. One who got the acid for me. Alice.
she's someone I've been meaning to speak to, so I guess with that information I'll speed up that process.
If it helps anything, I could only hope that it helps. Because I don't need anything to hurt more. And it's hurt enough already. But it's a risk I'm willing to take at this point.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of risks that need taking if we want to put a stop to everything. I appreciate you talking to me. And maybe I'll try and find you again soon.
There's a place to find me, it's usually here.
Okay. Well,
Leave the watch here when usually I'm around.
good to know. I might need this book soon. Because I know you mentioned that everybody holds on to their feathers, but I've given mine up in the hopes that maybe we can get someone back. I understand. It's not a way to get someone back. You want this feather too?
Yes, please.
I'd tell you to be careful, but, well, not to be insensitive, but, you know.
You can say it as it is, Dark.
You already
It's
did.
already a joke amongst my old
Already did.
club is that I'm already dead.
Yeah. Well, I get that feeling.
Take care, Richard.
You
Stay
too,
safe.
TJ. Do my best. That was a fun scene, huh? Holy shit, dude. Absolute fucking unlock of the century. We just got the fucking lore dump, but we got lore dumped in the best way. Wait for that. Yeah, it's I guess Doc was around early today, huh? You missed a lot. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, let's chat. We need to fucking talk about that. Okay, we need to go park up somewhere because that was crazy. Right, what the fuck just happened, man? I haven't registered everything yet. What actor would you cast? Wait, for who? We've talked about that a little bit before. Okay. Here's my... Fucking hell. Okay. Where are we? I took some notes. Because otherwise I'd forget everything. What did we get? Where are we? Right. So. TJ read Edgar's book. Show Dark's name. That's why I wanted to chat. Who would play Richard Dark? I really don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know who could... who would be a good Richard Dark? I don't know. I'll think about it. Stephen Graham, maybe? He's been good lately, and he's a very good actor. But I don't think he looks like Dark. Anyway, so he wanted to speak to us since he saw the book with Dark or Barrick. So TJ said something, and he's skeptical that Edgar has really forgotten everything. You know, like he's skeptical that Edgar really doesn't remember his time in purgatory, which is interesting. We got to unlock the face. I think we might have known about this already, because yes, I think hold on, I'm remembering things as I'm saying it. So fucking TJ was a member of the Faceless back in the day, which is crazy, right? And then Edgar called them out on Twitter, and so they fucked him up. Now, I also remember that Edgar told us that his fiance and Benny's brother got either taken or killed by the Faceless, I think, 6 years ago. So that must have all tied in to the same shit. Oh my god, a young Gary Oldman would be fucking fantastic. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I love Gary Oldman so much. So then, yeah, that happened back then. So that was like 6-7 years ago. Edgar was around, which I didn't know. I didn't know that fucking Edgar was around that long ago. I mean, I did, I just forgot. But I never ran into him or anything. So what TJ implied is that it wasn't really... I don't think it was necessarily called the Faceless. But I think it morphed into what the Faceless is today. And then TJ was talking with Pesto and Alice, and then got sucked back into purgatory by Pesto because he was still shackled to purgatory because he died, and you know. So there's these two sets of feathers, the white and the black. The white ones get you into purgatory, the black ones get you out. But only dead people, really dead people, can grab the fucking black ones. And then, because that's how TJ left, and then Edgar insisted on leaving, but then he fucking got spawn camped by Norman, got stabbed and sent back. So that happened. So then what else? Then he showed us the book. Which I could not... There was too much there for me to, like, commit to memory and or write down. I got a few bits and bobs, but, like, the actual shit that you've got to fucking say to go in and out, I didn't get. That's too fucking much. And I think we can solve that by, if we need to do it, then we go and speak to TJ first. He told you indirectly to screenshot it? I can't screenshot it! How the fuck am I supposed to do that? But he specifically said, and he's very seemingly disappointed, he said photographic memory. I don't know how to fucking... How do I roleplay that, man? So he said that everything has a cost. Like, you, like, going there and I guess getting back has a cost. And like, but it is a thing that would suggest that Fred isn't really dead. Like, he's not perma-dead, I guess, in a way. So he could get out like Edgar has and just live his life, but the way that Edgar got out was because a deal was made, right? So are the feathers even really a way to get someone out of purgatory alive? Like, is it even a possibility? I don't know whether it is. So TJ said that Hope and Noxie helped him get out one way to go see his dad, old Daddy Barry, you know. Then Alice stole fucking acid from Pestilence. I think we really need to touch base with Alice, because according to TJ, she's on the fucking right side of things here. You know, I would agree with screenshotting if maybe there wasn't 10 fucking pages and the Latin, you know. I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to push the boat out unless fucking Doc messages me and he's like, here's the fucking, the book was burned into your mind, here you go, you know. Listen, there's a reason I've started taking fucking notes lately like it's D&D, okay? Because otherwise I forget. Then the watch, you know, being, if it's still ticking, you've got fucking time left to solve things is kind of what I gathered. Which is interesting. Because, you know, at some point that fucking watch is gonna stop, dude. That's gonna be scary, man. Then the fucking biggest twist of it all, that the Mr. Blue was in fucking purgatory? Hello? Like, what the fuck? I don't know how to wrap my head around that. I don't know, because the evidence we have suggests that Mr. Blue is not War, because War isn't here yet, according to the seals on Dr. Kiga, and according to the conversation with Dr. Smith, where he implied that Dark hasn't had any interactions with War. So that means that the Faceless isn't War, but then he's in fucking purgatory. I had this picture of Mr. Blue, whatever the fuck his name is, Faceless man, like sitting like in a chair like it was fucking Inception, and he like injected himself just to die to take a trip to purgatory, and then someone fucking, it's like someone on the other side is like, some faceless goon is like trying to shock him to bring him back. Maybe he's just doing that, you know, maybe he just took a little trip, you know. He's so like Edgar's such a big part of this that he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna die for like 5 minutes to go have a fucking visit. But no, I feel that's too far-fetched. There's gotta be something else, you know? Gotta be something else. Then they got the fucking bloody white feather. But I swear, I remember hearing something about bloody feathers recently. When I say recent, it was a while ago. Why do I feel like it was a conversation with Edgar? I can't remember, man. I remember something. I remember something about feathers, but I can't remember. I cannot remember. For the life of me, man. I'm literally looking back. Oh! Nope, that's not it. I'm looking, but I can't. Oh! No, that's not it. That was father, not feather. Sometimes my handwriting really is terrible. But that's really fucking thrown a wrench in the works, man. What the fuck is the Faces doing in Purgatory? Did he get brought there by Norman? Did he get brought there by Pestilence? Did he fucking die? I don't know. But we need to speak to Alice. I think that's what we need. We need to speak to Alice. The mind map? Listen. Listen. Somewhere on this board, okay, will be an answer. Somewhere on this board, we will have the answers to this question. Here's TJ's book, by the way. Yeah, we fucking learn about Ashira having the fucking mark by the doc, which we had no idea. The fact that that was like accidentally admitted as well is, yeah, man. It's it just don't stop, man. It don't stop. It's crazy. How do you even search that board? Don't ask questions like that. It's difficult. It's difficult. What does that mean? Is it been marked? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know the details. We were just like someone that was marked by Dr. Smith. And then TJ was like, oh yeah, the old colleague of yours. And I was like, no. I don't remember working at Humane Labs. So yeah, shit just got like, I don't even know, man. Don't even know if you can say 10 times crazier. What do you think of the symbolism of TJ jumping off the pier into the ocean? You know, I think it really, I think it really encapsulates TJ as a dead guy, but still being kind of human. No, that was so funny, dude. So deep. We're in the deep end now, boys. All right. Well, yeah, that was pretty. Oh, hey, Arcade, buddy. It's gotta mean something, man. I'll put it on the case board. You know, TJ jumps into ocean. What does it mean? It can't be nothing. Exactly. It can't be nothing. Hi, Angel, by the way. It's good to see you. Also, Ziggy in chat, fucking saying, what did Ziggy say again? Something about, because I came up with the law with the feathers, that book was made. Or I guess the law for it was made. My bad. My bad.